Hey, I'm back, and let's do this thing. Okay, we need to. I want to go over another game with E. Burge. He's facing Y. Joe A. Rantaman. I'll just do Ran, okay? Arant, because I don't know how to pronounce the rest of his name, and I want to make sure that I pronounce it right, so I'll just do Rant. Rant, okay. What's gonna happen is I need to flip the board and we'll start because I was thinking about doing it on as white, but then I'm like, no, I need to do it as black so that we can see it from black's perspective. Otherwise, what happens, our bird's perspective, then we would just see it as white, and we don't want that. And sometimes, though, it gets confusing because now we're actually A8 and this is A1. So just don't get confused when I like say E7 or something like that. Don't get confused. So we'll start. We'll just go with the main line. This is usually the line that happens. First of all, remember this. We talked about this. This formation here is the start of the French, and from here comes many different lines. We're studying the linear. Maybe later on we'll study the advanced, which is the most common. And then if you really want a pretty dry game, we'll go to the exchange, because the exchange is really like when I'll show you what the exchange is. It's here and here. That's the exchange. What happens is black's dark light square bishop is free. So at this point, my teacher told me that it's a who has the most skills in the middle game that could actually win. So it's the who can perform the best at that point. This is the winner, so we know how it goes. Okay, he plays e5. We go c5, remember? One second, I'm sorry. I need a drink of water. Better. For some reason, I had my mouth was dry. That was weird. But, okay, back on task. These lines, all this line here, all the way to 5, is usually the standard line that is played if e5 is played. You usually play c5 counterattack. Remember, if they attack in the center, you attack from the side. If they attack from the side, you attack in the center. It makes perfect sense, military sense. He goes bishop to d2. That's not really the best of the moves because yeah, it does lock this here, it takes away the pin from the knight, but potentially the exchange here is really good. Like, let's say that knight, let's say takes here. Now the knight's being attacked, and so the knight would actually have to move. And with that, you can actually take. And then if queen takes, then you can bring your knight. I can see kind of a little bit why it's okay, but remember, black's idea in the French, guys, is to disintegrate this pawn chain here. So if we can get the pawn chain gone, we can push the pawn and get our light squared bishop activated to its max potential. So, but you can also at this point too, knight e7 is a good move, which potentially is usually played. It's the majority of the time it's played because it predicts that this could potentially happen, like queen here. And what then can happen is you can play knight c6, and then if there's like a pin here, you can actually play here. And then if the queen takes, you come over and takes, and then you now have the ability of pawn takes here. And then with the knight moves, you could take. And then now after the king would have to take here. And then now you snap off that pawn on e5. And now remember what we told you? The disintegration of the center has happened. the center is no longer under white's control. It's all gone. So now white actually has a superior position. I mean black does, sorry. I shouldn't say white. White center is gone. Black controls the center. And now black has the advantage in the game. So it's all in black's camp. Black's either better or equal in this position. White's idea is to control and hold these two pawns. Remember, these pawns here for white are the necessity that it needs. He has to hold those. Otherwise, he starts losing the advantage. Slowly it slips away. So b5 is played. He wants to exchange off the dark squared. Also hold on to the d4 if there's an exchange. The knight can take back with an outpost on d4. So it takes and then castles, because there's really no real, let's see, takes here, if takes there, let's see, takes here, oh I get you, because then that's now attacked, so this is a weakness. Then if f4, you now have the ability for an attack on the, oops, you gotta be careful here, yeah, you gotta be very careful because that can jump in. So probably, let's see here, potentially you have f6, and then if this jumps in here, so be it. We just snap that off, snap, snap, and now this knight is well outposted, but really, is there really a advantage to this position having a knight here? That could easily be taken away by b6, so it's not a permanent outpost. And now these knights are jumping all over the position. The queen potentially maybe can go here, but you know, you can always develop there. Now this is, or actually you don't have to worry about this pawn, do you? You can just actually develop there if you wanted to, and then jump in to f5 attacking the queen. So remember, look for power moves. Okay, takes, takes, castles, c takes, d, ooh, interesting. I gotta remember, I forgot that my Grandmaster Simon Williams talked about that drat. I get used to playing c6, drat. Knight d7 is actually stronger because it attacks two pawns. Remember, look for the best power move. This is a better power move than that power move because that's only attacking one spot, when this power move is attacking two spots. So one of these guys is going to fall. Otherwise, the queen's going to have to come to d4. If it comes to d4, then it's a sad state of affair that that has to happen. Oops, c5 comes smashing in. Now e4 is a huge threat. So this bishop now can actually come out. Black's light square bishop could actually come out now, and this is a big time threat. There's a lot more going on here. Bishop d2, d3. The bishop stops the knight from coming there at this moment. But remember, there's two knights here, so we have to keep that in mind. Then that knight comes, it wants to prevent the knight from coming into there. Also, it's preparing to jump to g5, white's knight, and then maybe push or something. There's a reason, maybe even castling king side with an attack. There's a lot. Bishop b6, that's a really good move because of castles now. Now you have a discovery on the queen, and the queen will be lost with takes. So that's a really strong move. It's doing a couple things. It's attacking the b2 pawn, attacking the knight, and indirectly stopping castling on the king side. a3. He wants to go to b4 basically. are, yeah, b4 to protect this pawn so that castling may be possible, or castling queenside now could potentially be an idea. Bishop d7. Black is fully developed. He followed one of the principles of castle, get your king safe, and white's violating so many principles. He's developed a knight move. There's a ton of moves with this knight, and the king is castled, so black now can develop and get ready to open up the white camp, and then maybe even a pawn a rook knight sack. You never know what potentially could arise here. So the knight jumps back, bishop takes pawn. Now this is an important moment in the game because white can no longer castle anymore. He's got to connect these two rooks, and if he castles here, remember we have the idea of there maybe something similar, maybe even bishop takes. Right now our knight could potentially happen, so he moves to e2, which is very not to basically what he wants to do. This is an important move. It again allows, he's up a pawn. Let's see, is he up a pawn? Let's see. Yeah, black's up a pawn, and so now even if a rook attacks the queen, she can slide back to d8 and then reinstitute her power along somewhere here, along these spots. Maybe from here prepare f takes and that type of an attack. A b1, rook c7. They're getting ready for when this gets pushed. If this takes, then rook takes, and you got a real soft spot right there. h6, that's actually a good move. It does potentially allow for a later loft or lift, which means air around the king. It allows an air spot once this bishop gets taken. That potentially has a spot for the king to escape back rank mate. Takes, king h8 forced. He can't play, if he took here right now, that'd be a huge mistake, because there's a threat of mate. If let's say plays here, I think that's actually check. Let's see, could he, wait a second. Oh, I don't think, yeah, I don't think that mate is actually possible here. Yeah, because he can move, so interesting idea. So potentially, but he played f6. Now he's doing a double possibility of, if need be, the king can go to g7, and then he now has two squares. But the problem is there's three weak spots, or two that we know of. If this rook wasn't here, the knight has two jump points to go to, and this bishop has jump points to go to as well. So the idea is to open up the center with your rooks and then play e5 to get the bishop to its max potential. He takes, pawn takes. Now the knight's attacked, and the knight has to stay, because if the knight ever moves, the bishop's gone. So he's basically toast at this point. Takes, 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 and he's okay with takes because he's now up, I think he's up 2 pieces. King moves over, and now we're getting a little bit sensitive here. This knight is very important here now because it guards what potentially would be after their check. Now white controls black with the H8 move solidifies all of black's games. Black now can hold. He has the ability to get everything to his potential again, and man, oh man, is he in the lead. Takes, check, pawn push. Yeah, he kind of had to give up a knight, but then check. Queen is guarding. Any trade now helps black, so he's trying to get the queens off the board. If he can do that, white's attack is gone. Also, it threatens here, so there's a big attack coming, and it's not going to be fun for white for sure. Takes, and now black basically is totally winning. There's no way that white has any potential of surviving. He's down 2 pieces. Yes, he's got 3 passers, but is there really anything that could happen? Because now with that move there, a fork takes, and his rook is actually trapped. Next possible move potentially could be rook here. Let me see, where would rook want to be? Oh, the rook's trapped. Sorry, the king would come here, and then the game would be over. So the king there is a winning game. There's no way to get the rook out of g4. So it's basically over. It all started out with let's go back here. When he played there, and he jumped in there. That's when the white lost the game, in my opinion, because now this knight is attacked and it's protecting a bishop that's checking the king. Is there really a good way to defend? No. So if he moves there, let's say that the queen moved here, right? You have this idea of takes, and that's defended. You gave up for a check, a potential check. You gave up a piece for a check. So you got to be careful that you don't just do checks that are, that you feel that you can check an opponent, because in this situation, white would lose a piece. So just be on guard with that. And with that, we'll go into chess puzzles now, and we'll do some puzzles. We'll see how we do here. So let's see here. Sorry about that. I had some cranberries that were covered in yogurt, and so they were so good, so I had to have one. Okay, so we gotta get back now. Okay, here. Let's see about some power. Let's see if there's any power moves for white here. Let's see what we got here. I see that we potentially have a double attack idea, because, or maybe potentially we have rook takes pawn, rook takes, bishop takes, and we're attacking the rook. That's a potential idea. Let's check back here though real quick. So everything is holding on for this spot right here. Trying to see if let's see if we push here, pawn takes, if queen takes, we then play bishop takes knight. And if takes here even further. Trying to see what potentially is an idea here as well. Well, we do have another sitch, but I don't think it'd be as good. No, I was thinking takes here, but the bishop could take, so we can't do that. Let's see here. We do maybe have a knight maneuver. Attacks the rook, so it can't go here, you have to go there. So here, here. That doesn't really do anything. Maybe if we play knight takes, pawn push, that would fork. See if here, here, here. So if here, but let's say, so it doesn't. He doesn't actually really have to take, does he? He can actually take here. Yeah. Let's see here, here. But if he takes here, he plays there. Got a fork there. Okay. This is a kind of interesting one for sure. I really think that might be the idea, because that takes full advantage of if the knight tries to sack, you have, hi, hey, I'm thinking that pawn to d4 might be the idea, maybe. Let's see, because this knight is very loose right now. All we have to do is get rid of this pawn there. What you guys think? Is it d4? Because what it does is it has a double idea behind this. It attacks the bishop, and indirectly it's attacking the knight. Because even if here, let's say that pawn, let's say he moves his bishop back, let's say he moves the bishop back, we could take here, and if takes there, actually, let's see, if we place here, he retreats back, takes, queen takes, a rook takes, knight takes, and then bishop takes. Maybe if we play there, bishop. Potentially that might be it. That might be an idea. Now that I think about it, if we play here, here, that guards this pawn here. So if we take, the bishop takes back, we take, takes, then we win the knight. So do you think d4, guys? What do you think? Think d4? Okay. Let's give it a shot. Wow. Snikes. Yes. I believe that might be an idea. That might be one of the ideas. Because if he does in passing, we can check here, and then if he moves over here, he can't move there, so he'd have to move here. Then we check. Then if he moves here, we take the rook, and there's no way for him to stop the queening of this pawn. Let me see. So here, if knight takes, we have knight takes. We win a knight. We also can move our king. And then the knight here protects these two squares. Thanks. Yep, I've been working. That is true. Yeah, that's bad. Okay. Okay. Here. I think that might be the move. Let's see if okay, he has to react to that. Is there anything else that we could play? Let's see. That oops. Let's see here. Trying to see if there's any more dynamic of a move. I really don't see anything that that doesn't kind of. Because if we do anything else, it's too slow. He has the rook. He can even potentially get in behind that pawn and stop it. And then what would happen is we'd have to hold. I don't know. I just want to just go for the knockout, and that potentially that would rip this open with a check. The knight covers these two squares. So if he moves back, which he's forced to, you can then check from here to there. And then, like I said, if the king moves here, we just snap the rook off. I think that might be the idea. What do you guys think? Snikes, that and they only gave us 4 for that? That's what? That's only 4? Wow, that's pretty sad. Hey, I'm not complaining. We got 4, but man, I thought that would be a lot more of a point gatherer, but I'm not complaining. Let's see here. Yeah, it did win. It won the I found out when I was listening to the tournament that's going on in England, the really big one where Wesley So, Caruana, Nakamura, Anon, Karyakin, and Michael Adams, Mickey Adams, sorry, and then I can't pronounce the other gentleman who is playing. He has a longer name that I can't pronounce, but he's also playing a really strong player. And it was Maurice Ashley that said, yeah, Maurice Ashley said that Stockfish. They got a call in, I think, about how strong are computers now? Stockfish actually played and won in the computer tournament. I found that out. I didn't know which one won. Was it Houdini or Stockfish? It was Stockfish. But then Google made a system, and their system defeated Stockfish like a lot of times. It just, I don't know how many times, but the one that was made was like wow. And Maurice actually said he's probably like 3,500 rated that it could do that. That's incredible what computers can do now for chess play. So it's so incredible. But one thing they don't have that we do have, creativity. So that'll always slightly put us a little bit above. They do have the calculating power hugely, so they can make up for the lack of creativity. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Houdini was, I think it was, he was 3390 something. Don't quote me on that. And so it was really close. Came down to one game. It got tied at the very end. I knew it got tied. You're wrong. Creativity in chess is playing. Well, you know what? There is some creativity is a thing that that computers do have slightly now. Oh yeah, deep thought. That's right. That's the name, deep thought. That's the cool thing about humans that play chess is they're able to make pick. I'm not saying that computers aren't able to be have pictures of art, but for some reason, like when Fabiano plays. And he won against Karyakin and then Anon. It was so cool. Oh, Rook D1. Let's take a look. Rook D1. It was so cool how the game that he played with Karyak and the creativity that he played there was cool. I'm not saying that computers couldn't have played like that either, but I don't know. It's just something like that. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Let's see here. Okay. Enough talking about, computers and stuff. We need to get on to our tactical training because we have to get better so that when we play in tournaments, we'll be able to see those tactics that turn the tide in a battle, in the battle of chess. So, let's see here. Takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, check. I don't know. Let me see. We'll check rook. Excuse me. Rook D1 is interesting. Let's see. What can black play in his counter for that? Huh. Let's just go back to 15 because I want to see kind of. Let's see. Okay, the knight comes there, attacks. He takes, drops in for check, d8, c4, bishop c4. He attacks there, retreats to b, and then g. Okay. Okay, I now see what Black's idea is. He wants to drop his knight to g6 and go after this weak pawn. Or potentially maybe even playing bishop d5. I mean d4, sorry, bishop d4, attacking the pawn as well. So white has to be very effective in his play to make sure that that doesn't happen. I think I like your idea about the rook. Just trying to see if there anything that he could counter with. Maybe he could defend with bishop to c6, but what can we do in that case? Let's see here. We potentially could take at that point because there's a pin, isn't there? And then we're attacking 3 times. Because if the rook's here, it pins this pawn, and so it leaves that for a potential attack. The bishop can't come here because of knight takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, and then takes. We have a attack on the queen and potentially a discovery attack on the rook. So I'm gonna go, I think that's the best move. Yeah, good job. Great find. Yeah, that was a great find there. Let's see here. Yeah, it was cool that Caruana won twice. He won yesterday, and then he won today. So he broke the trend of draws. So that was pretty nice. Let's see here. Interesting. I see that potentially a bishop. So, no, it's like what we said. Ideas are always welcome on this channel for chess. Good ideas and good language as well. So, I see pawn takes is an idea. See, we have a check with the queen, so if we can somehow move this knight to a more effective spot. Let's see. Interesting. Oh, let me see here. Let's see if we let's see if we play knight there, knight g6. Pawn takes g6, queen check, slides over there, takes. Then we potentially have a rook lift for checkmate. That's becoming very. Let's go to 15 and see what the idea might be. If we're right, that's cool. If not, we'll reconsolidate our ideas and look for a better option. So he is looking for a an attack. So what do you guys think? I'm thinking here after takes check when he might play here. If he plays there, we take and we're winning the a piece back. So here, check, king moves, rook up. Sorry, wait a second. Did that, I gotta slow down. Okay, here, queen takes, check, king moves over. First we gotta take, rook slides up, and then we go for a lift of an attack there, loft. What you guys think? Here? I'm trying to see if there's any more of a power move. Oh, if he goes rook, what if he rook f7? Well, oh, is that yeah, because I was thinking that if he plays here, we'll just go over this, because the reason this idea works is because if checked here, let's say he kind of stops the check with the interception of rook to f7, this pawn will actually take the pawn that's here right now, this pawn will, and it will have a bishop pin against the king, and the pawn could take the rook. We'd be up actually material. So let's give that a shot. Wow, he actually did that, huh? Let's see here. So, okay, if we check, is the check still? I'm thinking, let's see if we take here, let's see if we, hold on. The check doesn't work anymore, so we got to take, because if we checked now, the rook can't intercept without a problem, so we got to snap that off. This check doesn't work anymore. It only works if the pawn was still here. Yeah, you got to look for power moves. That's what grandmasters have learned, is there's certain types of moves. There's checks, there's pins, there's forks and skewers, there's double attacks, there's x-rays. There's a really big one that you can watch out for to use is a discovery. That's a huge one. And the first thing you analyze is there a check, and then the next thing is there a potential fork. The next thing is can you pin something? I know, that is kind of strange. The 15-second, you have to have, like what you're saying, you have to have a plan totally if you're just going to do 15 seconds. Yeah, I agree on that. That is very interesting for sure. But see, the grandmasters have studied these patterns, these fork skewers, all the ones I talked about, discoveries, double attacks, everything, and they can now spot them in an instant on the board. They can just go whoop, bang, and they see it, and it's like, really, then it takes us a little bit. So until we get a lot of our patterns down in a multitude of patterns, like Magnus Carlsen knows lots and lots. I don't know how many, but lots of patterns, and that's why they can. He's like over 2,900 on Blitz, the very like the 5-minute one. He's like very high rated on that. So. Because you can't be thinking yeah, you can't be thinking when you're playing the 5-minute or 1-minute games. It has to be there on your fingertips, so you already know without even thinking, because it's there. It's like a reaction. Okay, let's see, there. Okay, we're attacking. Oh, he's trying to pull the queen away. Yeah, if he takes here, we can actually take back there with a check, which benefits us. This potentially somewhat looks similar to a. Do you notice it looks similar to a French? You see how the pawns are formatted. The formation is. It's like there was a pawn here already, and then the D pawn took the E pawn. Openings blend into certain patterns, so let's see what the rest of it. Okay, there. Interesting. Excuse me. Pardon me. 1 second. I got a tickle. Hold on. Let me drink water. Oh, pardon me there. Pardon me on that. Sorry. Let me see here. Let's see, what do we got here? Let me get a drink here really quick. Oops. There we go. That's better. Okay. What power move can we do? There's a check. There's two checks, but here and here, but they don't work out like we want them to. Let's see, is there any forks that we can play? No, because we don't have a dark squared bishop. Yeah, and then now we have to look for pins, skewers. Let's see here. Let's see. Maybe a queen. I think you might be right in this scenario here. I think a queen move is correct, because that would be a double attack. Then if the bishop moves when the queen is here, we actually win with checkmate. Yeah. Yes, I think you're right. Queen f8. Yeah. Then we just snap that off, and there's no way that he could mate us anymore. We're up a whole piece. Yep, that's good. Good find. Good find. I like potentially c4 and then bishop to c5. Or we might have a potential d6 and then b7. Because you notice that we can skip all checks, all forks, all skewers, all that. We even double attacks. We notice that there's a pin. This rook pins the knight to that rook. It pins this knight to that rook. So all we have to do is double attack it one more time. And so, and if we played here, that would have a double attack idea there. Then if he took, we can always take back. I don't know. Now that I think about it, let's see, if we go here, the rook could actually slide there. Huh. You have to always be I'm not sure. Let's see, here. Yeah, I think c4 does work. I don't think there's any way of saving this knight. I don't think that's the correct move sequence because that would allow something similar to that. But then you could take there. Oh boy, if we played here, taste. Oh, I'm between two ideas, two moves. That C4 is more forcing. This might be too passive. Yeah, but we have to think which one's more efficient to our plan. I agree, they both work in their own way. But we want to, do it with more of a threat. Let's see. Let's see, if we tried here, what could he actually play? He could take here, then we take back, then he takes. If we play here, he takes, we take. He could play that, can he? And then stop this idea. Actually, he can't because we would do in passing, and then he would take there. Then we could drop our bishop. Man, this is like crazy. This idea, I don't know because of there. I think he'd be able to get, for a rook, he potentially could get a knight, a bishop, and a pawn. So I'm not sure if that's enough for us to because a knight in an endgame similar to this potentially is a bad, not a fun piece to fight against. Oh. Oh, you were right. Whoa. Oh, let me see. What is the solution? Oh, it attacks the rook. Let's see here. That's an interesting. That was interesting. I want to see why this one isn't. Hold on. Where's our move here? I want to see why that's not correct. Oh, rook comes here. Oh, very, very subtle. Very subtle there. I gotcha. That was right when you said rook d6. That was right. That was 100% right. I mean, not rook, bishop d6, and that was right. I can't believe I missed that because that allows. Yeah, wow. That was really an interesting. I'm glad we went over that. That really showed me you got to calculate even deeper. Excuse me. There we go. Let's see here. No, you're fine. You know what? Remember, we're all about learning. We're not right now. There's no big problem, so we got to learn now so that when we play for rating on here or in a tournament, you'll be able to see the correct out of those two moves. You'll be able to see which one of them is better. Wow, the C one really gave him an advantage rather than two. It took a pawn and a half away from us. Wow. That was a shell shock for sure. Let's see here. I'm thinking knight. The only problem is this bishop, isn't it? Do 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 do. B4. Interesting. Yep, that wins. That does win the queen, doesn't it, guys? Yep. Ouch. Let's see. Do we take with the queen or the rook in this? Yeah, it's a free. Oh wow, a free queen. Let's see if we hit it there. Free queen takes. Does he get anything for that? I don't think so. That's right. Yep, you're right, because then you get to take back. Yep. There we go. We're on the way up. Let's see here. This piece is only defended by that bishop, so if somehow we can remove this bishop, we'd be able to win that knight. But the rook is being attacked, but we don't have to worry because this rook's pinning the knight. I mean the let's see. So rook takes, bishop takes, and knight d. Interesting. Huh. That is an interesting idea, isn't it? Now that we think about that. Let's take a look. We'll try that here. And then knight d5. And then if takes, we win the queen. So the queen would... The only stitch that might arise... Nope. The queen can't protect this bishop at that point. Because with the knight here, it guards that square that would be, and it's attacking that bishop with check. So yeah. Bishop g5. Let's see. Bishop g5. Huh. Interesting. Let's take a look at that. Because I'm not sure, that does look very enticing, very attacking. But let's see about bishop g5 now. Let's see here. What if, actually bishop g5 is, I'm not sure, because that does allow the taking of the rook. Yes, we do get a wait a second. Hold on there. Hold on. That is an interesting idea, because then if takes here, well, we'd have to take. Well, do we have to take? See if we played there. Well, this knight does cause a problem of a checkmate there. After all that, I'll show you how. Here. Let's say we check here. Let's say he moves over here just for that purpose. We could check, then he can move. Oh yeah, then we could take, couldn't we? But if we took right out, let's say bishop here takes, and discovers an attack there. I don't know if we would get adequate material for that though. Yeah, that is an interesting idea here. But then the king can move over, and then when we take, the king can actually take back. And I don't know. I think that he is up in exchange at that point. We don't have enough compensation for that to happen. Boy, that's interesting. This sounds more like what a player would play. So what do you guys think? Would you guys like which one? This is really interesting of an idea because if takes, then we have knight there. Yeah, I like that. That was a great idea. Yep. Let's go. Let's take a look at that because we've already scored a win on this. So let's take a look at. Oops, at this move. Let's turn this off. That gets annoying. Okay, here. Now we'll take a look at. You know what? We'll see what would happen. And so at this point, are you guys thinking about taking here or here? What would you say? You can play here, and then if F, then if we played here, which would be a take, okay, then we'll say king takes. We would potentially would have to play. Let's see here. Interesting, because knight does there. Yeah, so the king wouldn't be able to take there. It'd have to be the queen. No bishop g. Okay. So, all right. You wanted to go bishop to g7. Gotcha. Then, yeah, don't take the bishop. Then he moves here. And then you're saying queen takes. Oops, not queen takes f7. You have the knight to d5. That's an interesting idea. And I don't think we have anything else. Yeah, I don't think we, if I'm not sure, I don't think we have this. There's not, the queen could just move in this scenario because the king now protects the bishop, and there's really no take. So, yeah, we would be down on exchange. We potentially could win a pawn here. I'm not sure. Okay, next puzzle. Let's do it. But we just wanted to see because it would it's fair to see what an idea of another one would be because I was curious even if it was going to work. I didn't know if it was going to work, as efficiently, and it doesn't. That moves actually that you proposed was um, computer line almost. That was great. That was a great move. Yeah. 3. Insane idea. Let's see here. Then he moves up there. Let's see. Can we bring our queen in? And I believe that is mate at that point. So if we play here, here, queen there is mate. Let's give it a shot. Interesting. He retreated over here. Let's see. What could he play? let's see. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's anything that could be more forcing. You're right. You have to take. Because if you play here, the knight can come defending. So it has to be a take at that point. This or this potentially could be played, and then it would be defended. So you have to take the knight, the rook at that point. It was forced at that point. Let's see here, guys. We're doing great. We just gotta stay focused on task, and we can get to our goal, which is continuing to rise, no matter where as high as we can get. We'll just keep rising in the rating. We won't settle for one rating. We'll just keep going. Let's see here. Interesting. Yeah, that is that there. Then takes, then knight jumps in, and you fork the queen. Yep. Smack. Nice. See, what do we talk about? Power moves. That was a power move. Look, first of all, we did check. First power move. Takes. Second idea is a fork check. And then third idea is winning the queen. So see how we used 3 different power moves? We used 3. We did a check, a fork check, and then take a capture. So it does work, those type of ideas. Oh, you would oh, you'd settle for 2. Yeah, 2,000 would be cool as well, but you know what? When we get to 2,000, we got to shoot to 2,100. We got to continue to keep. We don't want to ever settle. We want to continue to get stronger and smarter. Okay, here. Yeah, let's see here. The only move that I potentially could see is maybe rook. No, because this bishop protects there. I like rook takes. Because rook takes is an excellent idea because it stops the idea of the rook takes here. Because once rook takes there, queen takes, and this rook would take the queen. So rook take is the correct move. There we go. Smack. There we go. We're going on up all the way. We're totally taking it. We're going all the way. Bye. Bye-bye. See, be safe. Thank you for all the help. That was really helpful. And I want to also thank everybody else that's helping as well. So keep up the good work. So don't feel like if you want to propose an idea, don't feel like it's a bad idea. It's all about learning, okay? It's all about learning. There's no bad idea. There's just an idea that's not asked. Let's see here. Trying to see, we have a power move idea here. We have the first one is a check, right? So let's check our first power move, which is check rook to b2, king moves forward. Do we have anything after that we could use? And not that I can see. I was looking at rook to h4. The only sitch is queen to f2. Interesting. The only sitch on that again is you have queen there again with that, with the idea of stopping that. So I'm not sure. Let's see here. Let's see. Those two ideas are great ideas. They do prevent the king's escape idea. That is an excellent idea. This one stops here and here. This one would stop him, so if he came here after a check, but see, when we move, white gets a move. Drat, drat. So we kind of have to predict almost what our opponent's gonna do. So let's see here. Let's see. Here, let's see here. The only thing I could see is a check. Queen f2. Queen f2. Queen f2. Let's see. Queen to f. Yeah. Interesting. That is an interesting idea. So if we played here, Queen f2. I'm wondering if we check here, and if he comes here, we can always retreat our queen back and prepare for an attack there. Boy, this is a interesting idea for sure. Let's take it nice and easy and see what we can do here. Check here. I was just checking potentially after that queen there. Let's see. Oh man, we gotta see. Let's see. And we gotta stay in line with this idea here. Potentially there's a sitch. So let's see. Hold on, let's go back to 42. We'll kind of see 48. I mean, we'll see what he's kind of playing here. Okay, we take there, takes, queen there, rotates, attacks there, there. Okay, and so now we know what his idea is. A check. He has an idea for a check. Do you see that? How his move sequences went for the idea of a check. And the reason he moved here was to cover so that this idea here wouldn't work. That covers. So a check, if we checked here and it came forward, I don't know what a response to that might be. Let's see. Maybe we can play queen to c1 and then slide it over. Actually, we can't do that because the queen guards that, doesn't it? Drat. This is very... The only thing I could see is a check, but I don't know where to go from there. I know. So, but there has to be something here because this wouldn't have been a rook b5. Huh. Since we don't want to give up, if we give up our rook, guys, the game is basically almost over at that point. I mean, for a draw potential, we get a draw. Yeah, that is right. That is true. Yep. Let's go with the check. Okay, we were right about this move. Now what? Now what? I'm trying to see maybe if this idea that could potentially threaten a checkmate here. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Let's see. Is there any counter attack after here? Let's see. Check moves up. Nope. There's not enough time for him to stop this idea. There's no more checks, and all his checks are gone. He maybe can sack the queen. That's basically all I can see. I believe this is right. And there we go. Good job, guys. Good job. Let's see. Let's hold on. I want to check really quick to kind of see. Okay, so he's gonna try to queen. Excuse me. He's gonna try to queen this pawn here. So what do we? Actually, no. It's black's turn. It's our turn. That's that was funny. I kind of got turned around. I thought it was white's, but it's black's turn. So let's see what we got here. See if we check here. He could go to a dark square. Bishop b3. Interesting. Yeah, I think that might be right. Let's see, is there anything else? Because if we try to check, which is our one of our power moves, he can go to these dark squares and then we don't have anything. So I think, what do you guys think? I think bishop b3 might actually be the correct, because then he's going to have to trade off for a rook takes pawn, and we'll be up a whole piece for a pawn. I think it does. I think you're right at that point. This idea, if we play here, here, we take there and we win a rook. So I think we're okay. What do you guys think? Do you think bishop b3? I think bishop b3 is good. I agree. Bishop b3. Is everybody in agreement with that? Okay. Nope, it's the other way around. See the numbers here? It's actually 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And white's... There we go. So I think you're right at that point. Yep, there we go. Good job. Good job. Right on, right on. We're doing this. Let's see here. If we check there, let's see. Oh no, no. Hey, you know what? It's not. Don't ever feel like that. Okay. You know what? That's one thing we're all about improving. So, you know what? Sometimes I even miss things, and you guys help me out. So, and I'm not upset about that. We're in this as a team. Okay, if knight takes might be a good idea at this point. Then here, then we move our bishop, attacking the rook. And then next we could actually bring our queen over. What do you guys think? Knight takes? Because one of these is going to take, so I think, because this reminds me of one of those patterns that a bishop comes and a queen's here. That's there, the queen checks, the king moves over, and the queen checkmates with the support. Yeah, let's give it a shot. No, I think we're still okay here. I think if we play queen takes, rook, queen takes, queen, bishop takes, rook takes, I think we can actually win this pawn. What do you guys think? Here, 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 here. See, I think this will actually trade down. We're up. We'd be up a whole rook for a bishop, so I think we'd still be okay. So what do you think here? Or takes? I think. Yeah, I agree. There we go. There's 16. Yeah. Right on. Good job. Yeah, we do good. We do good work for sure. We'll do one more, then I have to log off for work and study. So let's end on a positive total win here. Let's focus down here because this looks very perpetual. So let's see if there's any way out of this sitch. The only thing that I can see that potentially would save our rook is actually rook there. But the only stitch with that is then now you have rook that slides over here. Oh, this is not fun. Yeah, I think that's the. Otherwise, because otherwise, what would happen, guys, if we didn't play here, we would push here. That would be the only thing that would stop it, and then the king can win a rook. So if we played rook back, let's see, rook slides over. Let's see, do we have anything after that? Yeah, I think that rook there, let's see, we potentially have queen there with the idea of a knight coming there. Let's give that a shot. Uh-oh. What was the other move? Oh, wow. That's okay. We'll do one more. We'll end on a positive a win. So let's not. We want to end with a victory. So let's see here. Let's see. I like that idea, but the only problem is king guards that rook then. So that's not a well-planned idea there. So let's see here. So if we have queen comes over attacking the rook, which would be an attack, and we're also threatening to. Wait a second. Wait a second. We could actually just take, couldn't we? Huh. Oh boy, 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 boy. gotta do this. We gotta use our knowledge efficiently. Okay, let's say we take here, queen checks there. King moves up. Then if takes here, so what if takes there, check, then the king moves, takes, and then queen takes pawn. This doesn't sound like we're gonna win very much here. Potentially that might be an idea. I think that might be it. I think that might be it. Let's see. Oh boy, I hope we're right on this one. I hope so. Because then the king would have to come over to guard that. Then we can win with the pawn attacking the queen. Then if she came down here, we just move up and there's nothing that she can't take that anymore because the queen's here. Yeah, I believe that's right. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no. Let's give one more. We gotta get back to. I can't believe we missed that. We gotta stay calm now. Come on. I should have seen that one. I was focusing too much on reacting. Come on. Let's see. Let's see if we take here, guys. No, the queen could check there. Okay, rook h. I think you're right. Let me see. Rook h. Hold on. Then we take with a discovery. Okay. Rook check. King takes. Do we push the pawn? I think d4 at that point. d4 and then we win the queen. Let's give it a shot. Oh, please let this be right. Okay, we're gonna stop there. We're up to 2,000. We're over 2,000. We'll stop right there for right now. We'll end on that. Okay. Thank you guys for the help on that one. We're above 2,000 now, so we're gonna have to be, because they're gonna be throwing us bigger and badder puzzles. So we're just gonna have to get stronger, take our time, and our next goal is 2,100. So, all right, with that, as Wesley So says, serve the Lord Jesus, and as I say, God bless, guys, and I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a great night. Keep studying chess. And as always, keep moving forward. Only look back to learn. Bye bye, guys.